little iron in your diet never killed anybody.
Nah, not at all.
I think I'm gonna make breakfast for dinner.
Your face is made out of breakfast.
I wouldn't like that. No, breakfast is my favorite. It's very greasy. All these fucking gnats keep coming.
Your eyes kind of look like eggs, and your mouth kind of looks like a piece of bacon, and your skin kind of looks like a pancake.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to Hard Reset, a Cold North production. I'm your host, Patrick the Law Morris. Joining me this week, as usual, gorgeous Ben Reynolds.
Meow.
The effervescent Andrew Etchen.
Hello.
And the tenacious Tim Miller.
Hello there.
You can see everything we do, including both of our other podcasts. Hard Reset. No, we're Hard Reset. No Refunds and Game Pass Anonymous. All in one spot over at coldnorthpro.com. This week, coming up on Hard Reset, we will be discussing some new game announcements, including one that has me very excited. And then some news as far as CD Projekt's growth. And then we will be we'll be talking about some of our favorite original scores from
maybe
video
I'll still
games.
be giving Ben a free point for the week.
What?
And then I bet at the end you'll give Ben another free point for the week.
So I actually didn't prepare trivia.
Good. Andrew gets to think of one today. And it's, what is my favorite color?
So, but before we get to all that, I want to know what you guys have been playing this week. So, Ben, tell me what you've been playing.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
And how do you like it? First of all, how much did you pay for it?
$15, $14.99.
That's triple the $5 you were originally willing to.
Yeah, I had a friend at work who started playing it, and he was telling me stuff about it that I like, oh, sounds actually like that's really cool. And so
It is fun. Cool.
I waited until it went on sale, at least to only $15, and just bought it.
Nice. And how do you like it?
It's pretty sweet. It's, I mean, it's a lot of fun with like a lot of the pirate style ship stuff.
The naval combat.
Then, yeah, and then there's also cool stuff too. Like,
Are you playing as the girl or the guy?
I'm the dude.
I want to try playing it again. Like, I only played like a little bit of it as the guy, but I really want to try playing it as the girl because I've heard the female voice acting like that they did like a better job. I guess I don't know. But apparently she has more like life. Her like talking points rather than just being like,
Is Andrew almost all robotic for you guys too?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Andrew turned into a transformer during that.
Oh, that'd be really cool. Andrew, you should drop off the call and rejoin real quick. But so Ben, the naval combat is kind of the highlight for you.
Oh no, I didn't play a ton of whichever one, Black Flag or whatever the pirate one was.
Yeah,
I love that one.
I played it a little bit, but I didn't play it a ton. And so, but this map is huge also, and so it's just really cool exploring, and then then going around and finding stuff, and
you can find like mythical.
Yeah, there's like mythical creatures, and it's just there's just cool places to go and always stuff to do. Then the way that the game's meant to be played is like that you get certain missions, but like it's not like driving you through the game, but you could set it so that it does drive you through the campaign. But Yeah, it's a very cool concept, and
like
it makes me
Skyrim.
excited to see what they're gonna do with Valhalla.
Oh, the Viking one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that one does look cool. I like Vikings. That would be the main draw that I would get that game for. It's just because I think Vikings are sick. Celtic lore is pretty cool.
All right. Andrew, you're still a little bit robotic, so So what did you play this week?
Me?
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry that my sound is fucked up. Because I was
That's
excited
okay.
to talk
It's not your
about it.
fault.
I bought and played Call of Cthulhu. And
Oh, okay.
I thought it was awesome. Such a great game. And it's like a pen and paper adaptation, version of a pen and paper game, but like it's a weird version of like a horror game, but it's not scary. It's more like I sort of call it intrigue horror, like the spooky, weird, unknown stuff that's happening just like makes you want to like walk into the next room and like find the next thing. But it's basically just a giant find notes and like stuff type of game with like really good voice acting and little cutscenes like thrown in. That it's almost more in line with like a Telltale game, in my opinion. Like it was more of like a just experience it. There's like very little to no conflict that you personally have to like deal with. There's like a few small stealth sections. There's like one weird section where you get to like use a gun, but it's like you just shoot in like the general direction of like something and then it dies, and that's like a very, very, very short little part. And so it just in general is about sort of experiencing like creepy Lovecraftian horror, and I loved it. I thought it was very awesome. I beat it in like 2 days.
Nice. That game actually got really good reviews, if I remember right.
Because I was looking to buy The Sinking City, and I was sort of like, maybe. And then I saw another thing that was talking about Call of Cthulhu being like very much a Lovecraft horror game, and I think like Cthulhu and all that stuff is like such a wonderful like creepy genre. And so I absolutely loved it. I would recommend it to anyone who's just looking for like a weird, creepy story to play that's not, it's like scary, but it's not scary.
Where'd you play it?
On the PlayStation.
Nice. All right.
I'm considering now, having played it, maybe buying The Sinking City too. But The Sinking City is more of like a third person run around, and I know you actually like can shoot stuff, and like it's almost like a investigative, Silent Hill-y type game. Like, well, that's why I played the other one, because I wanted something to be like story.
Okay. All right. Tim, what did you play this week?
Honestly, not a whole lot. I've been really just working on something called Star Control. A friend of mine, Olivia, has been doing a lot of back-end work in Star Fox 64, and we've been uncovering pretty much like all the game code. And we're putting into a program to work with Twitch chat, so that they can inject code into the game and pretty much fuck with you. Like, they could make you spin around or spawn an enemy in. Yeah, I've been spending a lot of time on that.
So it would like throw in random variables while playing Star Fox?
It's like the Matrix.
They can
cool.
get rid of your wings, or they can upgrade your lasers, or they could change the color of your engine, or they can make it so you can only take one hit and then you die. Like, there's a bunch of different stuff that we're working on currently.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's really awesome. When the first time you stream with that, let me know, because I am stoked to watch that.
Oh, I have been streaming with it. So
oh my god. Let me know when you do, because that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's still in alpha right now. There's a lot of issues, but it's still a lot of fun.
Wow. That sounds really fucking cool.
It's funny, like you're talking about it, and then right behind you, you've got the Star Fox posters, and I see a Star Fox model on the table there.
Yeah, Tim is like obsessed with Star Fox.
It's not a problem.
It's pretty awesome.
I do not have a problem.
It's unfortunate
think-
that Andrew lost his larynx because he smoked so many cigarettes.
Yeah, Andrew, lay off the cigs.
Am I really
I mean, you'll be able to go back and listen to this episode. We're going to release it anyways because,
Settle
like,
down.
You sound like
I
Yeah,
turn
you
it
sound
this
like-
way? Am I
you
speaking
sound
to
like you're
I think you fixed it.
talking through one of these things.
no, Ben, quiet. Do that again, Andrew.
talking from turning it around and speaking from the opposite side of my microphone?
That
No, that's not working at all.
I was like, God, Tim's messing with us.
Try unplugging and replugging.
She said,
Now you're going to have to hit your mute button. Technical difficulties. Live troubleshooting on a podcast. You're gonna have to hit that mute button, buddy.
On the screen, maybe?
He's gone.
Bye, Andrew.
All right. Well, I personally have been playing some. I'm about halfway through Ocarina of Time. Again, it's the first time I've played it in a very long time, like a couple years. But I have played that game dozens and dozens of times. So, I can typically get through it in about a day, but it's been a while, so I'm about halfway through at this point.
Are you going for 100%?
No, I am doing a 3-heart run.
Oh, very fun.
So I like the 3-heart run for me is kind of one of my favorite ways because the game doesn't have difficulty settings. I mean, I'm sure everyone knows this just because it's like it's a 20 plus year old game at this point. But the 3-heart run I feel like introduces a difficulty curve that like gets really, really hard at the end. So by the end of the game, it's a really difficult game. And most of the enemies are like one shot.
Oh yeah, I can imagine the large Beamos in the Spirit Temple actually just tearing right through you.
Yeah, or like the Iron Knuckles. The Iron Knuckles, even when you have all your hearts, they're like 1 or 2 hits kill you.
Yeah, they take like 5 or 6 hearts off you.
Yeah. And so, or the Lizalfos, those like in the Forest Temple, the Lizalfos are pretty difficult. So I'm enjoying it. I mean, it's still a great game. It's one of my most played games of all time. One of my favorite games of all time. It's just comfort food for a weird time in life right now. So
It's fair.
Hell yeah.
Fair.
Andrew, do we have you back with us? That's negative.
Yep, no, we got no audio now.
God.
No idea.
Oh, he's gone. All right. Well, that's going to take us to the news it now.
The news show. It's the news show. Try on clicking the mute button, Andrew.
and mute buttons are.
there we go.
Oh, there you go.
We hear you.
I know,
And you
but
don't
I'm
sound
also
robotic.
just hearing all the other sound through my computer as opposed to hearing, and then I hear myself talking through the fucking headphone.
Oof.
Well, you sound like a person instead of a robot, so that's good.
Well, that's fine. I'll just leave it like this. I wonder if my video stuff is fucking with it.
Yeah, sometimes the video, trying to combine the video and audio can be too much.
Can be a little bit of a bitch. I'll help you troubleshoot.
Put that over there.
If you want to.
Offline.
Yes, offline when we're not recording. But news it now. So we've got a couple of game announcements to discuss this
Last
week.
of Us 2! Ah!
Last of Us 2 is on its way.
You can pre-order now.
You can pre-order now. But
Tim, should we
I
do it?
wanted to talk about Tony Hawk.
You can
Yeah,
get
when's
it.
that coming out?
So Tony
So
Hawk
you're
is
gonna
out
get
on
Tony Hawk?
September 4th.
Oh yeah.
And it's looks like a full on like ground up remake of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, which I mean they're leaving out the best one, but that's matter of opinion. But I'm like super pumped for this. Ben, I know you played Tony Hawk.
Oh yeah, I'm very excited for this.
I'll definitely get it. That'll
Yeah.
be a nice little waiting game until Cyberpunk comes out.
Yeah.
Probably be a purchase
All
for
of
me.
these, we're about to get all of those other skating games.
Yeah, like
that-
Skater
there's,
XL.
like, two other. Yeah, and one of my friends was showing me
Session.
a bunch of stuff with. I can't remember if it was Skater XL or Session, but it looked pretty cool.
Yeah, it does look pretty
Like
cool.
it's the controls are even more complex than like Skate.
Oh
Oh,
jeez.
Yeah. So, Tim, what were you saying about how are you feeling about Tony Hawk?
No, it's definitely gonna be a day one purchase for me.
Oh yeah, same. Like I am 100% in. Well, are you guys going to get it on PlayStation or Xbox?
Honestly, it's probably gonna look better on the Xbox One X. So I may, unless Tim and I want to like decide we want to like split it, then
Yeah, I
I
mean,
will probably.
do we know if it
go
has online
Xbox One
multiplayer
X.
at all or no?
It does have online multiplayer.
Okay.
Ooh, then it might be worthwhile to split
everyone
it
just
and get it on
to-
PlayStation,
Yeah.
and then we could all just play it on PlayStation.
I'm
together.
thinking I'm going to get it on PlayStation just because like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater is a PlayStation game. Like it is as iconic.
First
to-
place I ever played it was Dreamcast. The second place I ever played it was PC.
And,
I used to play it mouse and keyboard.
oh god.
damn.
No, it was
Right.
actually it was all keyboard actually,
Oh, why
Oh,
would
wow.
you do that to yourself?
because I was a fucking G at it.
Yeah, because he was a god.
Oh no, I actually had a controller for that computer that I had it on. I just remembered. So I played it with it was some weird proprietary C controller.
Gotcha. I'm like
USB.
I'm so pumped for this game. Like this is I honestly am probably more psyched for this game than I am for Last of Us and Cyberpunk.
What about Skater XL or Session?
Well, that's just blasphemy.
Those games, Skater XL and Session, I'm like, I'll check out, but I never fell in love with Skate the way you did. And like,
Too complicated of controls for you?
it's just not arcadey enough. And like, I recognize the quality. It's just, it's not what I want from a skating game. And especially having played, like, I've played literally hundreds of hours of Tony Hawk.
Says the guy who wants to become or who, if he could snap his fingers and become whatever like the best at whatever, he'd be a pro skater.
I mean, if I could snap my fingers and be good at any sport, be like pro level at any sport, it would be skateboarding.
Eight.
All right. So personally,
Would be a pro like polo player.
Yeah, what about a pro bobsledder?
that would be
yeah.
pretty sick. Personally, this
I
one
would
Pro
is
curling. Think
I'm-
of all the women. You just be drowning in pussy.
okay. I'm like super pumped for these games, but it's one of those things like with the NES Classic when that was announced. When that was announced, I was like, "Oh, that's so great! I wish it was the Super Nintendo." And this is something similar where I'm like, "Oh, that's so great! I wish it was Pro Skater 3," because to me, Pro Skater 3 is the best one.
I don't know. Don't most people think the second one's the better one?
I'm a big fan of 2. I know Patrick likes 3 the best, but I definitely think 2 is the best.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you guys on the 2 train.
Oh wow.
Far superior.
That's interesting because I've like from what I've heard and what I've read online, it
You
seems pretty evenly
Traditionally
split.
had the best. It had the best levels from 1 also.
Yep.
But 3 had the best levels from 1 and 2.
Don't get me wrong. 3 was cool.
They changed the
arcadey
feel. They changed up the feel of it for 3. Whereas I feel like 1 and 2 had the like same.
Yeah, 1 and 2
feel.
is where you could do like a times 7 or 8, fucking spin on a half pipe and then land, like just break the laws of physics, like types of shit.
Well, I mean, you can definitely do that in 3. It's just like, so 2 added manuals. I will totally admit 2 was the most revolutionary for adding manuals, because suddenly you could string together combos in ways that you never could in 1, and ways that made the game so much more competitive.
Didn't 2 also add the build a park?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because I don't think that was in 1, if I remember correctly.
Design your own theme park.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I know that was definitely, because I don't think it was a part of 1. It was just a part of 2.
Yeah, honestly, like, and I'm a huge Tony Hawk fan, but Pro Skater 1 is a little bit lackluster. If you go back to it, like, Pro Skater 1 is pretty weak. But no, I wish they had at least included 3. But I hope that, I'm stoked to be getting 1 and 2. I hope that we get like a 3 and 4 combo pack in like another year. I would buy the shit out of that too.
Even other things. What if we get like Underground or
Thug and Thug 2? I would lose my mind for a Tony Hawk's Underground collection.
Well, we'll see how well this one sells. It might push them to do more.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely hoping that it does, because I would be super stoked.
I bet people who are like my age or like or a little older who have kids who are old enough to start playing video games will probably start having their kids play those games.
Yeah. And also, so one of the biggest selling points, one of the things people remember most fondly of the Tony Hawk games is the soundtrack, and that was one of the biggest missteps for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD that was released in like, oh god, I think that came out in like 2011, 2013, maybe on the 360, 2012 maybe on the 360 and the PS3. It was essentially a mashup of the best of 1 and 2, all done in HD. But like, it was a really bad game. And Ben is blowing smoke at the camera. But it was like a really bad game. But they brought on some of the old tracks, but they also tried to like, oh, these are tracks that would be on Tony Hawk games if Tony Hawk games were still around. And it just the soundtrack just sort of felt hollow. Ben, were you saying something?
It's because of music licensing.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure it's because of music license.
Yeah, but between Pro Skater 1 and Pro Skater 2, they had 26 licensed songs, 18 of which they have gotten back, and that's going to be the whole soundtrack. They're not adding anything new, so I think that's a smart move.
I wonder if they'll continue to try to get any more of the other ones. And
I mean, so it sounds like based on like the way
when's it come out?
September 4th. So they have some time. And like, how hard would it be to patch music in, right? And so
exactly.
Based on what they like, the way that they've been presenting this information, it sounds like they still might be in talks for some of these licenses. So, but like, we know they have 18 of the 26 on lock. Hopefully they get the last 8, because those soundtracks, those games, I'm not going to say that
it's probably like Public Enemy and Anthrax and
Public Enemy
like
is definitely one of them. Bring the Noise. So
It was that one because that's that crossover track with Anthrax.
yeah. So I mean, I'm not gonna say these games live and die with the soundtrack, but like, God, soundtrack's a big deal for these games. So, yeah, I mean, we're all pretty excited for Tony Hawk.
No, I was lying the whole time.
Yeah, I am.
Air last.
All right.
I'm
Well,
very.
I was trying to let you guys give me a segue, but thanks a lot, Tim.
You're welcome.
But in other news, there was another game announced, kind of shadow dropped on us. Nintendo announced a new Paper Mario game that's out in 2 months. So it's Paper Mario: The Origami King, and
it's gorgeous.
it does look like, visually it looks really good. I don't have a lot of experience with the Paper Mario games. In fact, I've never played a Paper Mario game. Do you guys have any experience?
The only one I've played was the one for the N64, which I think was just Paper Mario.
Paper Mario 1.
Yep.
Yeah, I never really played any of them either, but I was always curious. They look fun.
I've wanted to play Thousand Year Door. Color Splash I heard was okay, and then there was the one in between, which I can't remember the name of, which I heard sucked. So
Yeah,
this
there's
is the first one that I've seen in a long time that actually makes me like, okay, I do want to kind of get back into this series, because that trailer was fantastic.
Yeah. So the trailer was good. It looks like because like Color Splash and Sticker Star, like they very much revolved around one mechanic. So I've never played a Paper Mario game, but like I have always been interested. They always sort of pique my interest. And so I've read into them, and they did seem interesting, but it seems like Color Splash and Sticker Star were very reliant on one mechanic, whereas this game looks more in line with like Thousand Year Door and Paper Mario 64, and like even Super Paper Mario on the Wii was all about like platforming, and it was more of a platformer than an RPG. So this one seems to be taking it back to basics. So, I mean, we won't dwell on this one too long because none of us have really played Paper Mario that much. But do you guys think you're going to buy this game?
I want to see more on it.
Yeah.
I'm right on the fence there.
I haven't
If I see
seen
something else
anything yet,
that's
actually.
really good, then I will.
Okay. And Ben, what was it that you said?
I haven't seen anything yet.
Oh,
'Cause I
okay.
haven't watched the trailer yet.
Gotcha. And Andrew, you said you're kind of with Tim, kind of on the fence.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't really have much experience with the other one. If sort of depends on the timing for me. Like, if other stuff is out, I'd probably be playing on the other stuff. But if suddenly I see that it's on sale one day and I haven't played it, like, ooh, I would absolutely be curious to see what Paper Mario is all about.
All right.
It's an game. It won't be on sale.
No, that's
Or
true.
just eventually when other things are not in my immediate desire.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and actually, Andrew, you're bringing up a good point here. It comes out the same day as Ghost of Tsushima. And like, I know
And no, I won't be playing it on the day it is released, hands down.
yeah, I mean, I know for I know for some people that like Paper Mario is that big a deal that it can compete with Ghost of Tsushima. For me, it's not. Like, I'm way more excited for Ghost of Tsushima.
I kind of want to play Tsushima on a freaking PS4 Pro.
It would be foolish to buy a PS4 Pro at this point in time.
Yeah, at this
Exactly.
point.
I know, but it's probably gonna be one of those games where my PlayStation just sounds like it's gonna explode.
Honestly, I think that it's going to be one of those games where a PS4 Pro sounds like it's going to explode.
Fair enough.
But like, I feel ya, and I think it's crazy that the PlayStation, like the base PS4 and the Xbox One S, have lasted as long as they have. I think it's insane that there's been as much growth during this generation. That
One
they've-
S, there's even the base Xbox still works.
Yeah, I mean, it still works, but I'm saying like still being sold.
Oh,
That blows my mind. And like having the One X and the PS4 Pro, it just like I look at games like Ghost of Tsushima and I think like I'm starting to look at games like Ghost of Tsushima and Red Dead and think those are going to look great on my PS4 Pro and my Xbox One X, but they're going to push my PS4 Pro and my Xbox One X, and I can't imagine like those games running on baseline consoles. Like that's insanity too.
I played Red Dead 2 on PlayStation 4 first, and I thought it looked pretty damn good.
Nice. I mean, that's crazy, and it's great. Like props to them, right? For making those consoles last so long. But,
yeah, I guess then that's why I should just play Tsushima on my PlayStation.
Yeah.
Do it.
Wait, when does it come out then?
Ghost of Tsushima?
July. It's either July 17th or 19th.
Last of Us is June 19th.
Okay, then it's July 17th.
Yeah. So,
It's just, yeah.
Fuck yeah!
but
like,
something that was at the end of the Paper Mario trailer and is now maybe starting to sound a little more credible. So at the end of the Paper Mario trailer, Paper Mario picks up a Samus Aran helmet and puts it on and walks around a room. There's like a 5-second clip of him doing that. That could be nothing. But then like a week later, there is a rumor that Metroid Prime Trilogy is coming to Switch in June.
Yep, June 19th. There was a listing on a Swedish website. So
This June 19th?
Yep.
yes,
Really?
the Prime Trilogy
That's
for
weird.
Wii.
I like literally just the other day watched some like.
Do you guys think that that's a game that'll piss me off, or do you think I would like it?
Metroid Prime?
Yeah.
It'll probably piss you off because there's a lot of the Metroid games I do know don't hold your hand very much in terms of like telling you where to go. You have to kind of just like figure it out. So it's
I
sometimes
only remember ever playing a Game Boy Metroid game.
Now,
Oh, that
Metroid
must have
Prime is
been-
a little bit different. It gives you the general area in which to head in, but
it doesn't tell you like what to do or what you're supposed to be even like getting.
Yep. Nope. It you get your item, you look around.
They're like figure it out,
and
play with the walls and shoot things until something opens or you find a hole to dive down.
The Metroid Prime games
Yeah.
are really good though. The
Yeah,
second
they are
one
really
was-
like I remember the one on the Wii being super super fun.
that was Corruption, I think.
It was.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, that
actually,
one was so
Metroid
cool.
Prime Trilogy,
I may wait for Tim to stream some.
Metroid
Yeah.
Prime Trilogy has been released before. It was released on Wii, and they had adapted. That was back when they were like super into adapting GameCube games to play with the Wiimote and the nunchuck. So they adapted Metroid Prime and Metroid Prime 2 to run on the Prime 3 control scheme, where you use the nunchuck to like walk and the Wiimote to aim. And people love those that version of those games.
Yeah, like if they have it on the Switch and it runs with the motion controller, it's like, oh my god, it would be amazing.
That'd be pretty cool.
I'll be honest, I'm probably like not in the majority here, but I did not care for the motion controls added to 1 and 2.
Really?
It kind of it made aiming at enemies a lot harder.
Okay.
Because 1 and 2 used a sort of a lock-on system that immediately drew you to the enemy and followed the enemy around the room, because they didn't have like a dual stick setup for it. With the stick, you could lock onto the enemy, but you still had to like aim and shoot at it. It was, I don't know, it made it a lot more cumbersome, if you ask me.
I would be, because if I remember correctly, Prime 1 and Prime 2 on GameCube did not have the like standard move with the left stick, look with the right stick first
Yep,
person
no,
shooter.
move and look were both tied to your left stick. The
Yeah.
C-stick
Despite
was
the
used
fact that you
primarily-
did have two separate sticks on the GameCube controller.
Yeah.
Yep, the C stick was used for changing between weapon types.
Okay.
Yep.
That's
I mean,
just a kind of a tough look, and
It's
it's
very
when
arcade.
controls were being. Yeah, exactly.
Like at the time, it worked great, and I still think it's a lot of fun to play. But like someone who would like play Call of Duty now, going to play it, they'd have a lot of issues.
yeah. So I hope that they update the controls again and make it more of a standard first person shooter type control scheme. Just for like quality of life things. But I wanted to get you guys' take. What do you think the likelihood of this being true is? Because it like this is something that's been rumored for a while, and then the Paper Mario thing kind of hinted at it, but June is so close.
Yeah, I mean, June kind of falls in line with E3, so it could just be whatever their Nintendo Direct is for the month. They're going to come out with it. They're going to show you Prime 4 stuff. Then they'll be like, also available today, and then they show you the Metroid Prime trilogy on Switch. So
Okay.
that's probably, if they're going to do anything around that, was how I'd see it.
Okay. Ben, are you saying 100 or are you saying 0?
100.
Oh, so you are sure that this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Andrew?
Oh God, I would say like 10%.
I kind of feel that same way. I feel confident that the game will happen. I just don't think it's happening next month.
Yeah, like I like only like a week ago or something watched some IGN video that had only come out like at the beginning of the month or something, and that was like talking about exactly all that, like games that kind of just died in development or maybe are still kind of around, and they were like, well, the last we heard about Metroid was like kind of just like this, where so like we don't think it's gonna be dead, but like it's probably not gonna be announced for a long time. And I'm like, yeah, somehow I doubt that it's gonna just suddenly come out. For a game that big, I feel like they would be advertising the fuck out of that.
See, I disagree on the advertisement part.
Absolutely.
It's been out for all three of these games have been out for years, and the trilogy just coming to Switch is another port. Metroid Prime 4, about halfway through development, they were like, "Yeah, no, this sucks. We're canning everything," and they brought it back in house. So,
They give it back to retro.
Yeah, I think
yeah,
it's a way to bring it back, bring more interest in the fourth game for Switch players, because a lot of the Switch players are probably a lot younger.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
and have
and
not
Switch
played
players-
any of the other games.
I mean, Ben, you and I are a perfect example of like we didn't play the original. We didn't play the original trilogy. We would love to, but like, I mean, yeah, I own them on GameCube, but I don't want to like pull out. I don't want to. My GameCube is always hooked up and ready to play. But if I played the first two and got into them, I would want to play 3, and I don't want to have to like unpack a Wii to play 3. But like it would be a great way to advertise for 4, get people caught up. I just think that 4, kind of going off of what Tim was saying, I think 4 is probably further out than we were thinking, or than we would hope. And I think that they would want to release this quite a bit closer to 4 if it's going to be basically advertising. So I don't know.
Get
We'll
more
see.
people excited longer, especially if you can then drop the price later. Or, yeah, I don't know. I think just get it out.
Yeah, I hope
Bring
you're
it
right.
out. Bring it out.
I hope you're right. Time will tell, though. But-
Moving on.
Now it's time for the topic of the show.
Shoot.
All right, topic of the show. We're going to be talking about original scores. So we've talked about music in video games before, and like how music kind of can influence a game and influence an experience. We did that topic quite a while ago. I think a couple of years ago at this point. So I just wanted to touch on some scores, because there are some video game scores that are like super super good. And I wanted to just kind of kick it around, see what you guys think are some of your favorite video game scores. Personally, 2018 was just such a good year. Like,
I mean,
Red Dead and God of War.
When you steal the money in GTA, that is a pretty good score.
Okay. Well,
I have a few random game scores that I all like from like Pixel games.
okay, let's hear them.
For one, Fez. Fez is a great little platforming game with a really wonderful little, like, just old school, like that retro pixel music. God, Okami. That's probably one of my favorite game scores. And I know this is also ridiculous to say, and it's not just because it's coming up soon, but the initial like music in the first Last of Us, I always thought was like perfectly balanced mood to just be like gut wrenching when that guitar riff would come in.
Oh yeah, the whole Last of Us score is amazing.
Ugh. And every time I watch the new trailers, I'm just like, my Pringle's tingling.
Yeah, no, The Last of Us is a good one for sure. I mean, the Sony puts together, like, Ben, you've brought this up before, is like Sony's connections with the music industry undoubtedly lends itself pretty well to their video games, and having that cross contamination with those relationships. Ben, are there any scores that really stood out to you as like, I really love this orchestral music?
I mean, Red Dead is definitely, both of them are probably some of my favorite games. Just the music that you get while you're riding around, just even, and then like in missions and things like that, it's cool.
I know this is probably like kind of a weird, stupid one, but I actually think the music scores in like all the Star Wars Battlefront games are amazing. When they play like a perfectly timed song and you're like running over a hilltop, just like it's like like so good.
Yeah,
it creates a real sense of like epic.
It definitely lends itself really well to the Star Wars experience, and those games do a really good job of like recreating that Star Wars feeling. Tim, any scores that really jump out at you?
I know one of the ones that like really still resonates with me to this day. The entire score from Banjo-Kazooie is fantastic. Yep. Yeah, all the music in that game. Click Clockwood specifically. It's probably one of my favorite.
Ben approves.
That one's good. The score from Halo 2 is really good.
Halo. I have trouble picking a favorite Halo score.
I gotta go with 2 just because I've been playing Remastered lately, and that's the one that I've been listening to the most recently.
2 is really good, but so is Reach.
Yeah, Reach did pretty good.
Just anything Marty O'Donnell, honestly.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, even Destiny 1.
I don't remember much of the music from Destiny 1.
Yeah, I don't really remember a lot of Destiny.
I haven't played it in like 5-6 years. It's been a while.
I do remember the music from the Taken King's Fortress being pretty epic during the final fight.
Yeah. Ben, you kind of put your finger on what I think is a competitor for my all-time favorite, which would be Red Dead 2. Like, the music in Red Dead 2 is just jaw-dropping. Ben? Oh, okay. Ben's just being quiet. That's good podcasting.
Did it
So
die?
My jaw dropped.
your jaw
Okay.
dropped.
I didn't.
So, but then also, like, what about God of War?
I don't remember it as well as I remember the Red Dead games.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I remember the God of War music really well, but like, and I think that was Bear McCreary. It's like a big Hollywood composer.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I'm like, I guess if I had to like name off a handful of my favorites, it would be like Red Dead 2, probably Halo 2. Halo 2 is so good.
Yeah.
And then like God of War 2018 was fantastic. The music in Control was also really good. Like, I don't know. I thought you guys would maybe have a bit more input on this topic.
Yeah, no, not really. I can't say that music scores are something that like jump out at me very much. Until they do, it's like only very specific things. But I'm not sitting there going, "Ooh, this music's really nice. Time to ride down this mountain."
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I mean, I've been playing a lot of Persona lately, and 5's entire soundtrack is actually pretty good as well.
Oh yeah, 5 soundtrack is fantastic, and I haven't even played that game.
Yeah, the last surprise is really good. Oasis in the Desert, I think it's called. Something in the Desert. I don't remember. That's another really good track. It's the final boss fight music, and it's worth getting to the end of the game just to hear that sound.
And what game is it?
Persona 5.
Oh yeah. Actually, yeah, all Persona 5 does have a really great. I love that like jazzy soundtrack they have.
Nice. Yeah. The Persona 5 soundtrack is incredible. And I, again, haven't even played that game. I've listened to the soundtrack a bunch of times, though. It's fantastic. All right. Well, I was expecting you guys to have a bit more to add to this topic, but it seems like it wasn't a winner. I thought it was going to be better, guys. I'm sorry. But, you know what?
It's okay. We'll forgive you next time.
I didn't prepare a trivia question, but we've got some time to kill. So we're going to borrow from a podcast I listened to, and we are going to play a game called Video Game 20 Questions. I'm thinking of a game, and you guys have 20 questions to figure out what game I'm thinking of. Ready, set, go.
Is it first or third person?
You got it.
That's not a yes or no.
Oh yeah, it's a yes or no question. Sorry. Is it a third person game?
Oh, Jesus. No, it is not third person.
Is it a third-party game?
Yes, it is a third-party game.
Is the game newer than 2010?
No, the game is not newer than 2010.
Is the game a shooter?
Yes, the game is a shooter.
Is the game
You guys can try and narrow down time windows. You guys can try and narrow
is
down
the game
consoles.
based off of movie characters?
Yes, the game is based off of a movie character.
Is it a game from the James Bond series?
No, it is not a game from the James Bond series. Ben, we're going to throw to you.
Is it from before 1995?
No, it is not from before 1995.
Oh wow.
first-person shooter
between
2010.
between 95 and 2010.
And it's a shooting game based off of a movie.
Not necessarily based off of a movie, based off
Or
of a
it
movie
has-
character is what Tim asked.
Is the game based off of a movie? Or no, sorry, I should say is the movie character like based off? Oh fuck, I don't know. Skip me. I
right.
hate 20 questions.
Do you guys want to try and narrow down a console or platform?
A handheld platform.
Was the game available on multiple platforms?
That's a little bit of a complicated question. Yes, the game was available on multiple platforms.
Was the game, or the specific one in the series, on like GameCube, Xbox, or PS2?
Yes.
Okay.
Was it also available on some sort of handheld device?
No, it was never available on a handheld device.
Okay. I wondered if that was part of his complicated question.
Is the main protagonist a male?
Yes, the main protagonist is a male. That's 11 questions.
Okay.
Is the game from before, or is the game from after 2005?
No, the game is not from after 2005.
So it's between 95 and 2005.
It's an Xbox, GameCube, or PlayStation 2 game. He
Yeah,
confirmed that earlier.
Yes,
That's true.
we did confirm that.
Multiple platforms.
Sorry, that was a bit of a waste of a question then. My bad.
All good. All good.
Well, not necessarily because the like those there were GameCube games into 07, Xbox games into 08 or 08 and PS2 games into 14, so
yeah, it was.
And sorry, what was the answer to the other one? That the game has a character that's from a movie.
yes.
And it's a first-person shooter.
Is the main character a character from a movie, or is it just a side character?
Yes, the main character is a character from a movie.
Okay.
Was the movie before the game or after the game?
Could you clarify your question? Are you asking about release date, or are you asking about like?
Did the movie come before the game, or did the game come before the movie?
Well, do you guys mean like release date wise, or like in the timeline of the movie verse wise?
Like release date wise, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Like,
give
was
you
the-
guys. I'm gonna do you guys a favor here.
Movie based on the game, or was the game based on the movie?
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna do you guys a favor. I'm gonna tell you one movie came before the game, and 2 movies came after the game.
Riddick! No, I don't know.
You guys can try and narrow down developers.
That's not going to help me any.
Yeah. Here's one that maybe would help from you guys. Is it a game that you enjoyed or a game that you hated?
Me personally,
Yes.
it is a game that I very much enjoyed.
I don't know Patrick well enough for this. I was hoping maybe that would click something for Ben. What?
Ben is deep in thought here.
I am truly at a loss. My desire to make grilled cheese and soup is
Just overpowering your brainwaves.
Was it?
What?
Was it based on was it
I feel like if we were doing 20 questions, doesn't like 20 questions you start with like, is it animal, mineral, whatever? Like we should have started with like, it's a first-person shooter, or is it like a driving
Well,
game?
you guys asked that pretty early on.
I know we've already gotten those questions.
is it
Ask some questions, guys.
is it open world?
No, it is not open world. I'll
many
even.
questions
I'll
do we
even.
have?
What?
How many questions do we have left?
You have 5 left, and I'll even do you a favor here, and I will clarify. There are open areas in this game, but I would not classify this game as open world.
I can't think of any movies that I know of games that like came out with them.
Well, think
Or,
about
like,
the time frame you guys have it narrowed down to. I mean, there were so many movie games back then.
Yeah, but
Is
not
it a
many that were first person.
Star Wars? Is it based on the Star Wars series?
Oh,
No, it is not based on Star Wars.
does the game? You said one movie came out before the game came out, and then 2 movies after.
Yes.
Oh God. Is the game based on Earth?
No, the game does not take place on Earth.
Okay, that widens it up a little bit. I can think of one.
I mean, I know there's a Star Trek first person shooter, but I don't know the name of it.
No, but that wouldn't make sense because there's more than one Star Trek movie before there would have been.
Yeah,
a Star.
exactly.
What about the Doom
Okay.
game? Didn't Doom?
I think
Yeah,
there's
the
more
Doom
than one
movie.
Doom.
Yeah, there were more than one.
I think there's more than one Doom game before there was a Doom.
Oh
movie.
yeah, you're right.
Also, have there been more than one Doom movie?
Yes, actually,
No.
but that was gonna be one. Like I was like wondering if that would be a waste of a question to be like, as you know, just forget that one. But if it doesn't take place on Earth, that does somewhat help.
Was this game popular?
Hold on.
Fuck.
Ben just asked a question. Ben, can you ask your question again?
Was this game popular?
Not particularly, but it has become somewhat of a cult classic. I'm going to say you guys can have 20 questions and a guess. So you have 2 questions left and then a guess. Tim, you were onto something?
I was thinking, but then I realized it came out after. So
Did the first movie come out more than 5 years before the game?
I don't think so. Hold on. Let me check. No, the first movie did not come out more than 5 years before the game. One more question and a guess.
So it's probably sci-fi.
you said it
Games
doesn't
are
take
cool.
place on Earth?
It does not take place on Earth.
Fuck. Well, there goes that idea.
Is the game? Do we ask if it's sci-fi or fantasy, or do we try to figure out if it's sci-fi or fantasy?
Is it sci-fi or reality?
What?
Well,
Or is it like game fantasy sci-fi, or is it like a reality type of like space? I guess that's stupid. That doesn't make any sense because back then, of course, everything's sci-fi.
well, I mean, I feel like the thing we need to find out is if it's a fantasy world or if it's just in space, like sci-fi game / world, because it's based on movies more than it is game.
I have like literally no idea.
I'm thinking it's probably sci-fi, so I don't know if that. I feel like that's probably a waste of a question, though. Pat just nodded, so I think that's kind of confirming
I
that.
sort of doubt we're gonna get it.
Let's go with
Lots of dead air on
Word
this
of-
segment.
This is just stupid. Like I
Yeah.
can't. I'll never understand what the fuck.
movie successful.
Was the movie successful?
Yeah,
Oof.
I don't know if they ever made a game of this.
What?
Starship Troopers.
No. I don't think so.
I think they did actually, but it wasn't first person.
Oh,
You know what? I'll even clarify this for you further. I would not call the movie successful, as it only barely made its budget back.
these are all question or like answers that I just like wouldn't know regardless because I just don't like
Yeah.
pay attention to that much stuff when it comes to like movies.
You guys have a
Was
guess.
it- Was it Uncharted?
I don't think they ever made a movie.
They did, but after. It's also not a first-person shooter.
You guys want to go? You guys want to throw a guess out there?
See, like,
I literally like don't even have one.
before you said the in space thing, I was thinking possibly King
Wait,
Kong.
was it Madden?
Yes, it's Madden 08.
Oh my god, that totally took place before 2005.
What
All
is
right.
it?
Yeah, I've got no fucking idea.
No one wants to hazard just a Hail Mary guess.
Was it one of the Lord of the Rings games? No, it was sci-fi. Was it one of the? Was it like something to do with Lost in Space?
No. Okay. I'm just going to
Patrick
tell
was
you
just
guys.
base number 3.
I'm going to tell you guys.
Just tell us what your necessarily complicated answer is going to be.
Andrew, you've said multiple times that you have no idea. But you said it very early on. It is The Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay.
I was right. Oh my god!
Why didn't you say?
I
Why didn't you
remember-
tell me right when he asked?
Yeah.
Is it the Chronicles of Riddick?
Yeah. why
No,
I
he said it's
Riddick.
Riddick. And then like he didn't specify the game. He didn't say that
There
was
only
his.
one. There
All
was
right.
only one
I'll
Riddick
gi-
game.
I'll give there were 2 games.
I literally because of the way that you answered that made me think.
I
that
didn't
it wasn't
answer that.
game.
I didn't say anything about that. But I'll give you guys the win anyways because Andrew did get onto it really early.
I was like, that's the only video game I know of that's first person that had
Yeah, no,
to a movie.
I like literally there was something when Andrew said that something in the way that it seemed like you looked that made me be like, oh, that's not.
Yeah, you gave this look of like, ha 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 ha, no, like kind of like. I know you played us off and you made us.
You guys
not
are
think
supposed to. Okay, so if we ever do this segment again,
even if you accidentally guess it, it has to just be like ding. Like,
no, you guys have to. I'll give it to you guys this time, but you have to lodge it. You have to formally make it your official guess. This is what we're thinking. Like this is what we're guessing because you get one guess per game and then it's over. But yes, it was the Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay. That game is fantastic.
never did play it. I remember trying to play it back in the day, but my computer wasn't good.
I highly recommend it.
Riddick.
What?
What the fuck is the Chronicles of Riddick? I've never heard of this before today.
Oh,
The first movie was Perfect Dark, or no, what
Pitch
was it?
Black.
Yeah,
Yeah, the first movie was Pitch Black, and it was sick.
where they're all stuck on a planet that's in the dark, and there's like
Yeah,
these
like
like
full of
creepy
monsters.
dinosaur creature things, like monsters in the darkness.
And then
And then Chronicles of Riddick was like the actual story of him.
and Chronicles of Riddick
But
sucks.
but-
What, Ben?
It's not as good.
Oh yeah, Chronicles of Riddick sucks. And then the third movie was just called Riddick, and it's not very good.
I
But the
don't even
games,
seen-
the games were Escape from Butcher Bay, which was a prequel to Pitch Black, and it is fantastic. That game is amazing. And then there was actually a second lesser known game that was released in 2009 called Assault on Dark Athena that was also really, really good.
Yeah, that was the one I remember seeing, Assault on Dark Athena.
And came with just came free with a remake of Escape from Butcher Bay. So totally
Yeah.
worth playing. But that's all we've got for you guys tonight. If you liked what you heard, don't forget to leave us a rating or review and subscribe on whatever platform you found us on. You can see everything else we do all in one spot over at coldnorthpro.com. We'll be back next week talking about something else and maybe doing more 20 questions. I don't know. I'm going to ask these guys if they like it. But until then, we'll see you guys next week. Reset.
Reset.
Reset the 20 questions.
Ben wants to get back to trivia. Ben's all about trivia. I think Andrew was more partial to 20 questions.
I don't really care for either of them. Unless I'm allowed to cheat and look stuff up on my phone.